marshals around the Great Hall will be on hand to direct and assist you. If you are in possession of a mobile phone, please switch it off now or make it silent and ensure that it remains off or on silent for the duration of this morning's ceremony. When you ascend the stage, please walk all the way to the right line and doff your cap. Remember to turn and wait a moment while your official photograph is taken. At the end of the ceremony, please make your way to our shuttle bus, which will take you to our White Lights campus, where our post-ceremony celebrations will then commence. We encourage you to stay in your seats throughout the entire ceremony this morning. Sadly, we are unable to accommodate guests standing in the aisles due to our fire safety regulations. In order for everyone to enjoy today's ceremony, we ask guests to remain seated until the end of this morning's ceremony to limit disruption. Thank you for your support in this. And finally, please do remember to clap and celebrate each other's achievements throughout this morning's ceremony. Graduates and guests, will you now please be upstanding for this morning's procession?
Please do take a seat. I'm Paul Henley, and I'm the Chancellor of the University of Reading, and so it's my huge privilege and pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the University to this degree ceremony. Now, offering a welcome is important in any context to anybody, and it's especially so today. For those of you graduating, today marks the culmination of a successful chapter in your life. And while many of you will be moving on, or perhaps have already moved on, please remember that there will always be a warm, huge welcome for you here, a place that was your home from home for a good period of your lives. And to our guests, who perhaps are with us only for today, I offer you an exceptionally warm welcome to our university and our community. Before we get underway, I have a few brief pieces of information to share so that we all know what we're doing for the next hour or so. So, graduates, your degree will be officially and formally conferred upon you at this ceremony. Today's graduates have been split into 4 processions. Each will come up one group at a time. Each graduate will then be summoned individually by name to the platform by the university orator. And then, acting under the authority vested in me by the university, I will doff my cap over the university mace, which formally confers your award. If you step up to, there's a little line down here, and we can both turn and smile to the gentleman there. He'll take a photo. And then, as a graduate of the University of Reading, you'll descend the platform, go to the side room there where you can collect your certificate, and then return to your seat. The exception to this will be our postgraduate research student, who will instead be invited to turn and take a seat on the stage with us here to recognise that they have achieved the same academic qualification as those seated behind me. So, fellow graduands and colleagues, this congregation is steeped in the university's history and its tradition. But above all, it's a joyous occasion. It's where we get to celebrate the achievements of those processing. So please do feel free to show your appreciation in any which way you feel for each and every one of them.
By the authority of the Council and of the Senate of the University of Reading, this congregation has been summoned for the conferment of degrees. Chancellor, candidates will now be presented for their degrees. Chancellor, I present to you this candidate to whom the degree of Doctor of Philosophy has been awarded.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy of this university.
Chiara Maria Ventura. Chancellor, I present to these candidates to whom the degree of Master of Science has been awarded.
I admit each of you to the degree of Master of Science of this university.
Leadership and Strategic Studies, Charles Marie Porter. Real Estate, Jonathan Joe Okogu. James Angelou. Sam Barlow. Bert William James Black. Charles Blackburn. Nathaniel David Patrick Brovac. Harry Brooks. Eliza Rose Burton. Charles Aubrey Hamilton Burton. Shante Laverne Andrea Bino Gittins. William Patrick Campion. Nicholas Case. Jemima Chambers. Jemima Lucy May Chambers. Jia Yu Cho. Samuel Edward John Cook. Shami Daftari. Thomas Dominic Deacon. Maximilian Henry Dell. Michael Derry. Enrico De Vivo. Stefanos Dimitriou. Luke Robert Donohoe. Emma Catherine Eddy. Olivia Fraser. Mogis Gilani. Andreas Chiotis. Rosanna Lucy Glassy. Ellie Rose Goring. Harry Edward Peter Hall. Joseph Robert Hallows. Ronette Monique Gloria Harewood. Gabriel George Hayward. James Higginbotham. Leila Hill. Archibald Montgomery Hogben. Miles Hook. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to whom the degree of Master of Science has been awarded.
Admit each of you to the degree of Master of Science of this university.
Real Estate, Henry Alexander Langley Hughes. Aaron Hunjan. Oliver Hunt. Georgia Hooson. Katia Jennings. Petros Koukoulis. Roland Kasekwe Katende. Taran Singh Kurana. Miles Kiner. Amelia Knight. Nat Krutklom. Henry Philip Christian Lampier. Luke Ledwidge. Saskia Daniela Maestri. Lucy McMillan. Isabel Myler. Lila Millard. Thomas James Macaulay Minns. Matilda Moore. Anya Nathwani. Oscar Lawrence Neem. Alexander Michael O'Brien. Fergus O'Brien. Nicholas Agazeli Orkison. Holly Louise Osborne. Jack Pearson. Catherine Popovitz. Jack Potter. Sophie Pratt. Oliver Richard Michael Reed. Malcolm Daniel Rowe. Georgia Elizabeth Ruderman. Matthew Beresford Barbareri Rafael. Harry Alexander Cusack Rugban. Felix Rushton. Felicity Annabelle Elizabeth Rylett. Shivraj Sani. Serena Sawyer. Dhriti Shakar. Amy Constance Small. Marcus Stewart. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to whom the degree of Master of Science has been awarded.
I admit each of you to the degree of Master of Science of this university.
Real Estate, Sophie Stonia. Relita Tangtong Thavi. Edward Christopher Traherne Pollock. Jianming Tsai. Toby James Stanley Turpin. Alexander George Easter Toot. Samuel Harold Waldock Waller. Sophia Marise Wentworth Stanley. Tatiana Elizabeth Wharton. James Whitman. Edward John Franklin Wildman. Alistair Wilkinson. Sushaya Witaya Pitchett. Basilis Zachariah. Lu Zhang. Real Estate, Finance, Joyce Clement Adobo. Alexander George Burnett. Chan Chung Man. Lewis Coleman. George Eckert. Morgan Harriet. Mert Hauk. Wan Chi Lin. Joshua Livingstone. James Minkoff. George Francis Henry Nichols. Anastasia Rusu. Han Lin Chai. Pasa Sovachinda. Chelsea Elizabeth Thomas. Julia Valdetaro. Alberto Vicenti. Klaas Bendix von Drebber. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to whom the degree of Master of Science has been awarded.
I admit each of you to the degree of Master of Science of this university.
Real Estate Finance, Precious Gloria Yankee. Carolyn Michelle Young. Real Estate Investment and Finance, Rupert Edward Grantham Coley. Nompumelelo Lukeli. Aaron Vagarwal. Idris Sedan Wahagni Nano. Spatial Planning and Development, Mariam Henna Ahmed. Tobias Crook. William Henry Doran. Doris Garcia. Elizabeth Hill Sanders. Tyrion Ruby Hughes. Benjamin Kieran. Neve Lansdowne. Oliver Lodge. Song Hang Mak. Ketan Chandrakant Patole. Luca Savoya. Ashley Tilley. Jade Varney. Yan Long Wan. Boyu Shang. Urban Planning and Development, Victoria Barnard. Amelia Jane Frost. Blanche Jarvis Manott. Manchi Yim. Chancellor, I present you this candidate to whom the postgraduate diploma is to be awarded.
I award to you the postgraduate diploma of this university.
Real estate. Ogusha Mary Ifienwa Shabezwe Okafor. Chancellor, I present you these candidates to whom the degree of Bachelor of Science has been awarded.
I admit each of you to the degree of Bachelor of Science of this university.
Investment and Finance in Property, Jack Cashman. Real Estate, Angus Kilpatrick. Real Estate Development and Planning, Emily Catherine Rose McGregor. Archie Martin. Ben Myers. Imogen Smith. Chancellor, it has been agreed that the remaining candidates be admitted in absence.
I admit each of these candidates to the relevant qualification of this university. Well, very many congratulations again to all our graduates. Now, we all know today is a big day for dressing up in our finest, isn't it? Looking around, I can see that everyone has put in that extra special effort and that it's yet another thing that people here excel at. So graduates, families, supporters, academics, you all deserve an extra distinction for that today. But today is not just about being a graduation day. It's also Christmas jumper day, when people in workplaces and schools wear their most colourful festive outfits to raise money for charity, and like us, use making a statement in what they wear to bind us as a community around a single collective effort. So I'll leave you guessing as to whether I'm riding two horses and wearing my laughing snowman with LED lights under this gold and black camouflage. But never mind the dress code. Today isn't really about what we're wearing. It isn't about me or my snowman. Neither is it about your professors and tutors here up on the stage. It's all about you. You've made it through your exams and your essays, achieved your triumphs and overcome setbacks, and you've grown as thinkers, as citizens, and as people. You've learned about yourself and about the people you've met along the way whilst here, many of whom will be your lifelong friends. And so in a few minutes, when you walk out of this great hall and away from this great university, you'll do so not with just a degree, but you'll also have completed a story. And each of you has a unique story that only you can tell. And you're part of a bigger story too, because this academic year we will celebrate our centenary as a university. That's 100 years of educating and discovering and serving. And for 100 years, smart and optimistic people like you have sat in this very hall, each of them with their own unique story. And every one of those University of Reading graduates, from those in 1926 right through to today, they've sat here determined to go forward and make their mark on the world. And they now include you. But you're not the end of that story. You're the beginning of a new chapter, with a lot of plot and characters that have yet to be written. But right now, you're the heroes of our story, the worthy successors to those who have sat just where you sit now, before you. And you should know that we see you, we recognise your achievements and your potential, and I think for that You all deserve an extra round of applause. But there is another group of people here who also deserve our recognition. Your supporters, from your family and your friends, they've been with you, helping you every step of the way. They've played a vital part in your achievement, and I can see just how so proud each of them are of you right now. So I think now would be a good time for you, our graduates, to show your appreciation and thanks to them, and I may lead that for you. Thank you. Now, I love graduation days, and I'm so lucky to be able to stand on this spot. It's a privilege to witness all the optimism and the celebration and joy that high-achieving, smart people bring. But much more than that, I love the togetherness and the connectedness that this always brings. We've experienced this ceremony as people together, people dressed in their finest. And indeed, in years to come, when you look back at your time at this university, your first thoughts won't be of the buildings, or the campus, or the town. You won't even think really about the knowledge that you've created or the degree that you just received. You'll remember the friends and the colleagues and the experiences and inspirations you shared with them. Because you'll remember people. So a university isn't anything else but just a group of people, is it? This one was back in 1926, and it still is now. It's people. And you've just become the latest members of a pretty exclusive club of people, graduates of the University of Reading. And you're in impressive company. You're now part of a group that stretches from the author and poet Michael Rosen to the TV meteorologist Laura Tobin, from rowing legend James Cracknell to the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina J. Mohammed. And I don't want to put any pressure on you, but it would be kind of helpful, please, if you could emulate their success and secure a massive publishing deal, be on our TV screens every day, win multiple Olympic gold medals, or, I don't know, lead efforts in world peace. But why not? University of Reading graduates have done just that. But whatever you go on to do next, I hope that you'll take that same spirit, that you will want to contribute and to serve. And whatever you choose to do, know that you will always be part of and supported by this community. My simple request is to, whatever you do next, keep alive that magic spirit of youth that saw you through your time here and that you have shown in the curiosity and the bravery to become a graduate, which I could see in each of your eyes today. I still try and keep my youthful spirit alive every single day. My journey from sitting where you are now, clutching my new brand new certificate, to standing here before you today, somehow with grey hair, gold bling. But that journey has been travelled holding my student version of myself always close. And when I do look for inspiration for what to do next, I often think back to the posters stuck to the wall of my undergraduate room some 35 years ago. One of those posters was of my sporting hero, Muhammad Ali. And I still do look to his words today for inspiration and to make sense of the journey in my life. And today I'm going to hold close his advice to young people when he said that impossible is just a big word thrown around by small people who find it easier to live in a world they've been given than to explore the power that they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential, because impossible is temporary, impossible is nothing. So with impossible is nothing ringing in your ears, and as you leave here to begin the next part of the adventure of your lives, I'll offer just one more thought, and that's always remember to keep you unique. There isn't another you. So use your unique experiences and your ideas and your knowledge, your voice, your intelligence, your relationships, and your individual unique story, each developed here, to do just that. Don't be somebody who isn't you, just because you think you might need to conform. You can be proud of the smart and curious person you are right now, because if you keep you, then the rest of us, we can't wait to see where you go next. Congratulations. So, graduates and guests, I would now ask you to please rise as I declare this degree congregation closed.